Yeah, it's Wrestling Uncensored time. We're previewing AEW Wrestledream. Let's dream. It's a Wrestledream, baby. It's an American wrestling dream this Sunday in Seattle, AEW, baby. Johnny North, baby. How you doing? You all right?
Not bad. This isn't in Seattle right now, though. Rampage, though.
Yeah. It was taped in Broomfield, Colorado, baby. After Dynamite on Wednesday. Yeah.
There was a lot of Denver jokes on Dynamite, yeah.
Yeah. That was good. MJF said something about weed, and then the crowd just started chanting weed. Weed, 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 weed. I was like, yeah, that's a chant I can get behind. Weed.
Thanks.
Who doesn't like weed? Well, you obviously, but
I enjoyed them making fun of the Broncos losing like 70-20. That was an outrageous score. In any kind of sport, that's outrageous.
that actually happened in the NFL. 70-20.
Yeah.
70. Who scored 70 points?
That was the Dolphins. And I know someone who went to that
For
game
them.
live, and they said it was the best game they've ever seen. Like they never kicked the ball away. It was every time they scored. It was incredible. He said it was the best thing he ever seen live.
I guess he was a Dolphins fan.
Not even a Dolphins fan. Just, was in Miami, wanted to go take a game and saw that game.
Okay.
Great moment.
70-20. That's crazy. Yeah. So AEW was in Colorado this week, but this weekend they are in Seattle. We're gonna preview that. I'm already seeing people in the chat, Leor, saying can't wait for Jade Cargill. Jade Cargill has signed officially with the WWE. WWE making a big deal out of it. And I'd like to start there before we get into the Wrestledream. Let's start with the Jade Cargill signing because I think that is the biggest news of the week in pro wrestling, right? Not just that Jade Cargill signed to WWE, but how the WWE has treated her signing.
I guess.
The fanfare that she's getting. Well, what else has happened this week, John? Other than Wrestledream this weekend, what's the big story other than Jade? You're saying she's not the biggest story this week? What should we go to first?
I thought Tony Khan had some interesting things that he said in this like little scrum thing he did for Wrestledream. He has a little media scrum. I don't know if you caught that or not, but he had some interesting things that he said, I thought.
I saw a couple things. Yeah, like what? Give me one thing that's more important than Jade Cargill signing to WWE.
Well, he kind of got rid of that rumor about a lot of people thought he was there's a big announcement, right? It's going to happen on Wrestledream. This is like the end of an era, start of a new kind of thing.
That's what he's saying. That's what Tony Khan is saying. That's how he's hyping Wrestledream. End of an era for AEW, beginning of something new.
And there was a big rumor going around. I don't know if you saw it or not.
Yes.
Before that about how he bought New Japan, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. And he kind of killed that.
He said, well, he did and he didn't. Right? He said, I don't know where that came from. He didn't say that's not true. He never said that's not true. I read his quote about that, and he never quite denied it, right? Right?
I'm guessing you're going to pull it up.
Well, I'm going to try and get the quote now that you're throwing it out there. You always... What are you, AJ here? I
just see you're trying stuff.
I'll read the quote here for you. Yeah, I'm trying to look something up, and you're just sitting there quiet. You're supposed to talk when I'm looking something up, John. That's how the show works. I'm not supposed to expose the backstage. I'm killing the kayfabe here for the Wrestling Uncensored. But, when I'm looking something up and I'm quiet, you're supposed to fill the dead space. But that's okay. We can just look at you. And just look at you frozen.
And you.
Yeah, look at me. Look at me struggling to use the internet.
And Jeff Jarrett on TV right now, confronting Eddie Kingston. I guess they're building towards a match. Dynamite, maybe? If he survives Wrestledream? That's my guess. Or Jay Lethal is, I guess, challenging him.
Kingston's wrestling Shibata. So Tony Khan addressed the rumors of him buying New Japan Pro Wrestling. He says, I think it's really good that we created all that speculation around Wrestledream, but I'm a little surprised how that speculation picked up, specifically the transactional nature of it, because we have such a great partnership right now, and we are doing such great things with New Japan Pro Wrestling. I was a little surprised to see that. Overall, I really enjoyed working with New Japan Pro Wrestling for nearly 2 years. We have been partners now. But never said he's not buying New Japan Pro Wrestling, right?
Right.
It doesn't say... And then the end of the era, beginning of a new era. He said, I have no intention of clarifying what I meant by those comments. I want people to order the pay-per-view, obviously. I think the internet kind of ran away with the speculation based on, I don't know what. Honestly, I'd love for somebody to go back and look who was the first person to say that, and we can track back where the speculation came from, because certainly, I don't know if that particular aspect of it is very credible. I think talking about that New Japan sale as well. So, I don't know. It doesn't seem like he's buying New Japan. I'd be surprised.
I would be too.
Kind of a big move. But I think he sees what TKO Group is doing. And he recognizes, like, they're buying up all the combat sports properties. They're trying to be all of combat sports. And the other companies that are out there are going to have to get together, work together, or maybe just kind of become one bigger company. Like, I see TKO Group, the company now that owns the UFC and WWE, they seem to be diving into other combat sports. They're getting into jiu-jitsu, professional grappling. They've got that slap fighting thing, too, which I don't know how that figures into any of it. But they've got MMA and pro wrestling locked down. And then there's rumors that they might get into boxing as well. And if they start becoming the main boxing promoters and the main boxing promotion, then they kind of have a stranglehold on all the combat sports. And, you know, if you're going up against that and you're a rival wrestling company, MMA company, whatever, what chance do you really have up against this gigantic entity that owns multiple industry leaders in their respective sports? So the purchase of Ring of Honor, a purchase of New Japan Pro Wrestling kind of makes sense if you're AEW and you want to make big moves and you want to remain a steady player in the game that continues to grow. Like, it's not like a dumb move, right? Like, for AEW, if they wanted to buy New Japan, it wouldn't be a stupid move. It would be pretty big for them. It would be good for the portfolio, I think. But is it for sale? Can they afford it? Like, who knows, right? I mean, they could probably afford it, but is it a wise business move? Can they make it profitable for them? What's the price, you know? Those are questions I do not have answers to. But I think if you're looking at the overall space and what the WWE is right now, you got to think like, okay, we got to keep growing, and how do we do that? How do we remain relevant? How do we remain a company that people want to buy media rights for, you know? So buying New Japan doesn't, you know, it could figure into that. You know, you buy AEW streaming rights, you're also getting Ring of Honor streaming rights and New Japan, like, it adds to it. But I don't know if it's happening. I don't think that's going to be announced this weekend if it is happening, you know, if it is in the discussions.
Yeah, I feel like this end of an era, start something new kind of thing is just, it's probably story driven more than likely. And just how the stories are going. Like, it feels like I don't know about you, everything's kind of like stagnant right now. Nothing's really happening. We kind of got a little thing with Jay White and MJF, but everything else just feels like nothing's really happening. So I feel like that's it. This is the starting point where we're going with brand new things, new direction in terms of where we're going with a lot of characters.
Maybe. That might be it. If that's it, I think people will be like, is that it? You know?
Yeah, but that's going to be because I think they have people coming in, right? That like now Edge can finally show up, right? More than likely, I could see Edge show up. That's a big thing. I could see Sasha Banks show up. That's a big thing. That right away, boom, big thing for both divisions. Changes things. Yeah, I think something like that. That's all you really need in terms of like new direction, new era.
Yeah. If you can deliver Sasha Banks and Edge on the same show as new additions to your roster, that's pretty good. I'd be satisfied with that. Right?
I feel like that's what's going to happen, but
I hope so.
I think
for them.
I think people, but some people might be disappointed when they're thinking, "Oh, AEW is going to change the wrestling world," kind of thing. It's like, they'll sign people, but I don't know about like they have to have New Japan. I mean, like he said, he has a partnership with New Japan. Why does he need to own New Japan as well? I don't think it's necessary. He already has access to a lot of their talent. You see them every so often. Maybe you don't see them all the time, but you see them enough.
It's limited.
They have a joint pay-per-view.
Yeah, but if you had access to both rosters, you could do more, right? If you had full access, you could do more. I don't know if it's going to happen. Interesting. I saw some rumor that Sasha Banks might not go to AEW, that she might just wind up going back to WWE.
Really?
Would be huge for them, right? Get her back.
Yep. I don't know, because we saw her All In. I feel like she's kind of favoring towards AEW. But wait and see. Who knows?
She was just in the crowd. I mean...
Yeah, they showed her multiple times.
I haven't seen anything that she signed with them, though. They haven't announced her sign with them. Like, nothing, really. I don't know. I don't think that she's a done deal. I think Edge is more likely than she is. I mean, I would hope for them that they get both because they need... I think, it would help them to get that type of talent injection now, especially after losing CM Punk. Like, you need some stars to fill out that roster, some recognizable stars. And injuries, right? Yeah, I think you need something. There's also the story that I think this was reported that AEW, their next broadcast deal, they're going to be on Max, like the HBO streaming platform.
Like, that's not going to be for the TV, though. That's just maybe for some of the pay-per-views, though. Okay, and maybe like on-demand kind of stuff.
Okay. I don't know what the deal is exactly, because I don't know how it would affect us here in Canada. I don't pay attention too much to the American TV deals until they're done, because it doesn't really affect me. It's their business, and it's like, whatever.
It's like WWE with Peacock. Like, it doesn't really affect us. We have our own, like, WWE network.
I hear people talk about Peacock this and Peacock that and WWE Peacock, and I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't have any of that, thankfully. It sounds bad, Peacock. It sounds like it's not something you want. I think we have a better deal here in Canada with the WWE Network. But I still think Jade Cargill's the biggest story in wrestling, John. All right? I don't care what you say.
Okay. We've known about Jade for a while. That's it. Yeah. Like, it's not really big news. Like, it's just official, and they made a video package on Raw and SmackDown. Or maybe just SmackDown.
Alex Tarras says, I can't believe AEW couldn't get Jade Cargill to stay.
She probably didn't want to stay.
Ryan Cat says, Cargill versus Belair, WrestleMania 40. I mean, yeah. There's a lot of options there. A lot of options for Jade Cargill in the WWE. I don't think she wanted to stay in AEW. I think it was just a matter of her contract running out. She looked at all her options, and the WWE was a good one, and she went there. And she's going to become a mega star. And I think a lot of these acting roles that she wants to get, it seems like, she'll have an easier time getting with that WWE machine behind her, because people will know her when she walks around. People will know exactly who she is because of the WWE. And that's been true in pro wrestling for over, I'd say about 40 years now, that if you work in a wrestling company, you're kind of wrestling famous. If you work in the WWE, everybody knows who you are. It's a different level.
Well, she kind of said it too, where it's like, it was good to train with Bryan Danielson, but it's better in WWE. You get more exposure, and there's a better training facility there.
Yeah. It's more full-time. It's, yeah. She's at that performance center. It's higher end. They have more behind it. It's what they do. And she's
more
training now.
Making a lot of money.
Say it again?
She's more likely making more money, so.
Yeah.
So that always helps.
Yeah. She's a massive star. I've been a fan since day one with Jade Cargill. She's impressive, You know how much I like Jade Cargill. Huge loss for AEW. Huge signing for WWE. And I'm glad that they're treating it like a huge signing. I'm glad that they're putting out on their Twitter, we've signed Jade Cargill. Look what we did. We signed Jade Cargill. On Smackdown tonight, Michael Cole and the guys, oh, look, there's Jade Cargill, and look how many views this got and that got, and everybody's excited to welcome a real star, Jade Cargill. They don't mention at any point where we might know her from. They're just like, hey, it's Jade Cargill. She's fantastic. She maybe has wrestled before. I don't know. We don't know about this. Jade Cargill, though, right? Everybody knows her from some place. But I like how they're treating her like a megastar, like a big signing, because it shows me that they're going to bring her to the main roster. They're going to treat her correctly, and we're going to see these dream matches against a lot of the top stars in WWE, and that's where it should go. She shouldn't be like a mid-level kind of whatever signing. She should be a main event player. She's that type of wrestler.
Well, when you look at it for WWE, it's win-win, regardless. Like, if it works out, great. If it doesn't work out, well, you just have her lose to everybody. So it doesn't matter either way.
Yeah. It seems like she's going to be on SmackDown.
Really?
I don't know. They talked about her on SmackDown. They didn't talk about her on Raw. Unless the signing was after... When was the signing? After Monday, maybe?
That's I think it was after Monday, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's probably why. Maybe not SmackDown. I don't know. I would put her on Raw.
I would too.
I think Raw needs the star power.
Raw needs it, yeah.
Yeah, Raw is...
Raw's tough.
Raw is
Raw's tough every week.
Bad show. It's just bad. Let's just be honest. It's not good. It's not a good show.
Said for a while, Raw's not very good.
Yeah, it's been really tough to watch. It's just a drag. But Jade Cargill in WWE, I think great. Her and Bianca, her and Rhea, her and Charlotte, her and Asuka, her and Io, her and Bayley. Endless possibilities, because when you have the WWE women's roster, you've got tons of matches. And it's cool with Jade Cargill because I can't remember the last time a big women's star from outside the WWE came in and it was like, oh, we know her. She's a star. Here she is. And look at all these cool matchups we have for her. Matchups you've never seen before. When has that ever happened? Jade might be the first one. Like a legit outside a WWE wrestling star on the women's side that gets treated like a star, brought in, and like she's got a lot of top talent to face. Maybe Awesome Kong, but that didn't work, right?
Yeah, that didn't really pan out too well, sadly.
Because not many women become big stars in wrestling outside of WWE.
I mean, you could say in a sense like Stacy and Tori, right? When they came with the invasion and all that. And they did become big stars. Well,
yeah.
I'm just saying, they did become stars, though.
Yeah.
Ronda was different. Ronda came from the UFC. I mean,
yeah.
yes, but
Lior saying Ronda. Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's different. I'm saying in pro wrestling stars. Jade might be the first one in this era.
First one. Yeah, in this era, yes.
You know, in this era where it's like, oh, because, I mean, Stacy and Tori, like, whatever. There wasn't a whole roster of women that you were like, I can't wait to see them wrestle these people. Who cares? You never wanted to see that at all, and you never even got it. And if you did, I mean, it was not that good. An Awesome Kong, like, it didn't kind of work out. She had, like, a decent roster. I think Beth Phoenix was still around, maybe. Like, she had a few people that she could have worked with when she came in. But it just, something happened. Didn't she get hurt her first match? Or something went wrong?
I want to say pregnant, no?
Maybe she was pregnant, like, right away. And then it just never worked again. But she was hurt, too. Like, she had a lot of injuries. I don't know. Yeah. Jade Cargill coming in is really cool. It's a different type of star coming into WWE.
Well, also shows you, in terms of people who are in AEW, it's like, wow, this looks amazing. You can just, like, leave AEW and then WWE treats you like a big deal.
Yeah.
So, kind of eye-opening for a lot of people, I would think. That's the second time this has happened now, too. I mean, it happened with Cody. Now Jade's getting the big treatment here. Before she even debuts, she's getting the big treatment. So, it's pretty good. If you're someone who's having their AEW contract almost up, WWE might look very appealing now.
I wonder what Britt Baker's contract situation is, because she dropped one to Chris Statlander just clean on TV a couple weeks ago, and I was like, that's weird. And she's kind of been not present on TV that much, very little promo time. Britt Baker was the centerpiece of that division, and she's been phased out over the past few months, and it makes me wonder why. And she could be another one that she could go to WWE, and that's money. There's a lot of matches you could do with Britt. She can talk. I wonder what's going on with her, because AEW doesn't seem to be that high on her, you know, especially considering where they were.
I mean, she's still one of their top female talents.
Is she?
She's still in. Yeah. She was still in the big match at All In. Like, that was only one women's match. She was in it.
Yeah.
She's usually in all the big women matches. She's not wrestling this Sunday, but again, this Sunday I don't feel is their biggest pay-per-view. And this is to help, I think, Statlander, in a sense, build her up, because she hasn't really done much in terms of her title reign. Like, she beat Jade back in May, and what, one or two decent defenses at most? The defending against Jade, the rematch,
mm-hmm.
And that was about it. The rest just been low tier at most.
Yeah, I guess, but it's weird with Britt, because I remember a time when every week on Dynamite she'd be there doing promos, doing everything. There doesn't seem to be a reason why you would hold her back. She was over. People like her. She doesn't seem to be injured. Like I said, she wrestled a couple weeks ago. And now it's like you see a whole week of TV and there's no Britt Baker DMD. She's not on Dynamite. She's not on Rampage. Who knows if she'll be on Collision tomorrow, but I haven't heard anything.
You're also kind of forgetting the fact that her boyfriend, fiance, whatever, had a major injury, so he's probably by his side throughout the whole weekend, I would guess.
Okay. I don't know. They have kind of pulled back on Britt Baker, though. Right?
They have, but they'll push other ones in the meantime. They already felt like gave her a lot of time, got her over, and now they're trying to get everyone else over by using her as well, by doing that. But she's still used, though.
I think she could leave and go to WWE and be a big star.
Maybe. I just feel because Adam Cole's there, and they push Adam Cole like he's one of the top guys in the whole company. So I
So
feel like people like to say a couple in the same Fed.
maybe.
They try at least.
Maybe.
Doesn't always happen.
Yeah. Sometimes you want to try out the WWE and see how it goes. I don't know. AEW Wrestledream. It is the dream of wrestling. You know WWE had a Wrestledream?
Like a 91 or something, if I'm not mistaken?
Something like that. It was in Japan.
Right.
You know about this. You are amazing.
Well, just because I vaguely saw highlights of it at one point in my life. And yeah, that memory popped up in my head for a little bit.
Hulk Hogan beat Yoshiaki Yatsu in the main event to retain the WWF World Heavyweight Championship. Genichiro Tenryu beat the Macho Man Randy Savage. George Takano defeated Bret the Hitman Hart. John Tenta defeated Koji Kitao in a disqualification in a match that devolved into a shoot. If you've ever seen that.
I don't know if maybe I have, because I remember there was a match where they were like, this is one of the worst matches of all time.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that match is on there, actually, but I didn't watch all of it.
Yeah, Earthquake tried to work with this guy. This guy didn't want to put Earthquake over. It kind of turned into a fight, and then the guy threw a table outside the ring, and the referee just said, all right, that's enough. Disqualified. Kind of a mess.
Class.
That's what happens sometimes when you have co-promotions, you know? Things don't go right.
It's the reason why you didn't see many WWF Japan shows afterwards, probably.
This was in Kobe, Japan in 1991. Like I said, Hulk Hogan was the main event. It was WWF versus SWS. And Minoru Suzuki was on this card.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Suzuki was on this card with Hulk Hogan and Bret Hart and Earthquake, Randy Savage. So it was like a WWF Japan card. And they called it Wrestledream. So this is not the first Wrestledream.
Well, it'll be AEW's first, and I guess this is going to be a tradition every October now, right? That's the plan. I think that's what Tony Khan said.
Yes, to honor Antonio Inoki.
I don't understand the card, how that really represents Inoki, but I guess they'll explain it on the pay-per-view. I don't know.
Because Inoki really liked wrestling, I think.
Okay.
And they're doing wrestling. You know, pro wrestling. He loved it. Man, he loved it.
All right.
I thought there was a Scorsese movie commercial I'm seeing. I'm sorry, I just got distracted by some sort of Scorsese movie with like De Niro and DiCaprio. It's like a Western. I haven't seen anything about that. My brother is slipping. He should have been telling me about this months ago. I just saw a commercial for this, and I was like, what is this? I'd be interested in this. Scorsese, De Niro. Count me in. It's a Western. It's not like a gangster movie, but could be. Could be.
I was seeing The Big Bang Theory at the same time, so we're watching different commercials, I guess.
I got distracted by that commercial. Well, it's on Apple, apparently. Oh, it's not in real movies. It's on Apple. I don't think I have the Apple. Somebody send me a password for the Apple so I could watch that movie. Scorsese. Yeah. The hell was I talking about? AEW Wrestledream. I think Inoki really liked wrestling. And but honestly, I think he liked technical wrestling, you know, and Bryan Danielson, Zack Sabre Jr., that's a technical wrestling fan's dream. So I think maybe that.
I just thought there was going to be more New Japan talent on this show. I thought this was another joint kind of pay-per-view we were getting, but
yeah,
I guess not.
Yeah. There's some New Japan talent.
Barely, it's the usual ones they get, and even that, it's like they usually get more than this.
Yeah, they do. This isn't like Forbidden Door. This isn't Forbidden Door.
Not even close.
Right? It's
Not
a different.
close.
It's a different style card. It's in Seattle, which is, I guess, as close as you can get to Japan.
Have you seen the attendance numbers so far? They've only sold like 5,000 tickets for this.
Really?
Over 5,000, but still, like, that's like, you're telling me Bryan Danielson's main event and he can only sell like over 5,000? Like, that's not very good.
That's sad. Well, Seattle's never been a hotbed for pro wrestling. You know?
And if I'm not mistaken, Darby Allin also is a hometown like guy on the show, and that's not selling.
Darby Allin, Swerve Strickland, Bryan Danielson.
That's true, Swerve. Yeah.
No, they're filling it with Seattle guys. They have a bunch of them. It's one of the reasons why they're going to Seattle for this show. I'm surprised it's not selling a little bit better. Bryan Danielson, Zack Sabre Jr., I would assume is the main event. Hangman Page against Swerve Strickland. Swerve is from Seattle. That's on this card. FTR against Aussie Open. FTR defending the AEW tag titles. MJF will take on The Righteous by himself. The Righteous. We got to talk about those guys. Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi will face Konosuke Takeshita, Sammy Guevara, and Will Ospreay, which, I mean, that's pretty cool. Christian Cage versus Darby Allin in a 2 out of 3 falls match for the AEW TNT title. Congratulations, by the way, to Christian, who is the new TNT champion. Most of us thought he was already TNT champion, but he won it officially in a triple threat with the Luchasaurus and Darby. Was it Darby?
Well, Darby hit the coffin drop, and then Christian threw him out of the ring, and then Christian took the pin for the win.
Yeah. Yeah, Brian's not exactly from, I think Lior's like, it's not his hometown, Seattle, necessarily. He's from Aberdeen, but Aberdeen is like not, it's like a suburb of Seattle. It's basically.
They're never going to go to Aberdeen for a show.
No.
Like, it's not going to happen.
You know who else is famously from Aberdeen, Washington? Not just Bryan Danielson, right? But
who?
Kurt Cobain.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
Gosh, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah,
wow.
man. Of course. Small Washington town produced 2 incredible generational talents in their respective fields, right?
Totally different talents, yes.
Kurt Cobain with Nirvana and the rock music. Bryan Danielson with pro wrestling and the AEW.
I believe it was grunge music, but yes.
Well, whatever. It was a subgenre. John, what are you getting specific with me here? MJF takes on those guys. A Cage versus Darby. Eddie Kingston versus Katsuyori Shibata. What?
Apparently, the Acclaimed are in a match now.
They added another match to this thing?
Yeah.
Jeez. The Acclaimed, it's on the pre-show. The Acclaimed and Billy Gunn will take on Shane Haste, Mikey Nichols, and Bad Dude Tito. And this is for the AEW World Trios title. They're defending it against TMDK. Who is Bad Dude Tito? Bad Dude Tito. Cool.
If I'm not mistaken, that's Ring of Honor.
Okay.
See, this is the thing about these shows. Like, it just feels like they're adding the Ring of Honor talent, and that's nice. But get this talent over first. Like, explain the talent to the audience that watches AEW, because not everyone that watches AEW watches the Ring of Honor like streaming service. So, like, when you just throw these guys on there, it's like, who's this? Oh, there's Zack Sabre Jr. finally.
I think they might be New Japan guys, honestly.
Okay.
I don't think they are Ring of Honor.
But still, like the same thing applies. Like, give us like something with them, like a story or a promo or anything, a vignette.
Yeah, I don't know why the Acclaimed are facing these guys. I think the Acclaimed will beat them though in the pre-show. Let's get that over with. These guys from New Japan aren't winning the AEW Trios titles, right? Come on. Let's just scratch that match off. Who cares? Chris Statlander defending her AEW TBS title against Julia Hart. Young Bucks take on the Guns versus the Lucha Brothers versus Orange Cassidy and Hook in a fatal 4-way match to determine number 1 contenders for the AEW tag titles. And Ricky Starks will take on Wheeler Yuta in a match that I don't think anyone really needs to see. So, let's start with that one. Let's start with some of these throwaway matches. Ricky Starks, Wheeler Yuta. Wheeler and Ricky are beefing because Wheeler's friend Bryan Danielson beat up Ricky Starks. I don't know.
They had a promo after the match, or that happened after the match that they aired on Dynamite.
Yes.
Right? And I guess Ricky felt Wheeler was disrespectful and challenged him to a match. So now we're getting a match.
Cool.
Which is nothing great.
Yeah, I think Ricky should win. He needs to get a win, and Wheeler is, Wheeler.
This isn't really that great of a story. This is actually really just nothing. Just, I'm challenging you. He lost. It was a good match. I had a couple of things I wasn't happy about in the match, but it was a good match against Bryan Danielson Texas Death Match. And, you didn't win that match, so we'll give you Wheeler, and you can beat him on the pay-per-view. Just out of nowhere.
I don't think this should be on pay-per-view. This is stupid. Shouldn't be on pay-per-view. Pointless.
I'm not going to disagree with you on this, but I guess this is to make up to him because he lost. So we're going to give him something. That's what it feels like.
Mm-hmm. Bryan Danielson, Zack Sabre Jr. Come on. I can't argue with that. That's why I'm watching. That's what I'm there for. That's why I watch AEW. I watch AEW primarily to see Bryan Danielson do whatever he does. Him and Zack Sabre Jr. is an absolute dream match. They're doing it in Seattle. They're going to give him plenty of time. It's going to be excellent. Bryan's going to win in the end. It's going to be a nice little party. I'm happy for it. I'm there. I'm down. I don't think it really means much in the grand scheme of AEW, because Zack Sabre Jr. doesn't wrestle in AEW, so beating him is it's cool. Bryan beats Zack Sabre Jr., Bryan beats Okada, Bryan beats all these cool New Japan guys. It's cool. I like to see it. But it doesn't really translate to anything in AEW. It doesn't get Bryan closer to a title shot. It doesn't really advance any kind of storyline for Bryan Danielson. The match is cool. The match is for Sunday night. You watch the match, you see the match, you enjoy the match. Monday morning, match doesn't mean anything. Unless you're talking about what was the match of the year. Was it this one? Was it that one? Maybe it was Bryan Zack Sabre Jr. That's what the match is there for. The match is there as an exhibition to show what is possible when you have two great wrestlers like Zack Sabre Jr. and Bryan Danielson have a wrestling match. Just go out there and wrestle. Will it be good? Of course it'll be good. But it won't mean a goddamn thing come Monday morning. Come Wednesday night on the next episode of Dynamite, Bryan Danielson's win over Zack Sabre Jr. doesn't mean anything. Because where does Zack Sabre Jr. fit in the grand scheme of AEW? Oh, well, he doesn't. So where does he fit in the grand scheme of New Japan? We don't really know. Kind of mid-card. So, great. It's a cool match. I like it. I'm not mad at it. I'm going to watch this pay-per-view. I think this is actually a really solid wrestling card. There's quite a few matches that I'm looking forward to seeing. This one is the one that I'm most looking forward to. But, yeah, you can't ignore that in the context of AEW, there's not a ton of purpose for this match.
It's what they hype it up to be. It's the dream match that if you're dying to see them wrestle each other, you finally get to see it. And they've been hyping this for over a year because it's supposed to happen at last year's Forbidden Door. Didn't get to happen. And people have been wondering what it'd be like. So you're finally going to get it. And that's cool. And it was also kind of neat that Bryan said that these matches are harder than doing those hardcore extreme matches that he's been doing. Because he can kind of hide the fact that he's got a bad arm in those matches. And that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
These matches are harder because it pushes you a lot more because you can't just use all the salad dressing to get through the match. You got to use all your skill and you got to use all your arms for that. So it's going to be tough for him. But it's going to be a good match. No doubt about it. More than likely, it's going to be the match of the night. I think it's disappointing that it's his hometown. It's the match everyone wanted to see if you're a Bryan Danielson fan. And he couldn't get more people. That's very sad, I think.
Yeah. Hopefully they make it look good on the broadcast. But Bryan Danielson, Zack Sabre Jr., it's a match I've been wanting to see for a long time. It's a match wrestling fans have been wanting to see for a long time. I think that is enough of a story for the build. You know, it's cool. And I think Bryan will win. And, you know, I can't, you know, being the gigantic Bryan Danielson fan that I am, I can't argue with having a night to honor Bryan Danielson, letting him wrestle this guy that he's handpicked, that he's wanting to wrestle for years, and wrestling him in his hometown on pay-per-view in the main event. Like, yeah, this is just honoring Bryan Danielson for the night, letting him do whatever the hell he wants, and I'm in favor of that. I think all the wrestling companies should have done that over the years. Hint, hint, WWE. They should have done that more, just given Bryan Danielson everything. Every night should have been WrestleMania 30 as far as I'm concerned, but, you know, it didn't always turn out that way. But, yeah, give it to Bryan Danielson. He's the man. Best ever. He deserves nights like this, you know? This is the kind of night that he deserves for what he's given us throughout the years in wrestling. He deserves to get moments where he's calling the shots and doing what he wants. And him doing what he wants actually translates to some kick-ass TV and some great wrestling matches. So why would you argue with that? You know? It's like, if you had the opportunity to give Bret Hart a match against a handpicked opponent in Calgary in the main event just because, just so Bret could win, like, wouldn't you do it? Why wouldn't you? You know? That's the kind of thing this is. It's Bryan in his hometown getting a win over a handpicked opponent that he knows he can have a great match with. Makes sense to me. Honor the guy while he's here. He's telling you he's got less than a year left in his career. Honor him. Give him what he wants. Like the great Batista says, give me what I want.
Two things to that, though. Like, one, like he says, oh, this is the last year full-time. Well, when's the last time he's been full-time, like, really? Like, he hasn't really wrestled full-time. Like, he barely wrestles now, and you're calling that full-time? Like,
he wrestles quite a bit in AEW.
How many matches he had this year? Like, has it been more than 10?
Well, he's been hurt, too.
Well, that's, like, he's always hurt. And, like, in AEW, for the most part, you wrestle once a week at most.
How dare you, Mr. Number One CM Punk fan, always hurt.
That Punk has been hurt. I'm not going to deny that.
Punk has been hurt so much. He was mostly hurt.
Well, you know, AEW, you just have to look at like, it's injury-prone wrestling right now, and you think about it. Like, who isn't hurt?
Yeah. Yeah. Without Moxley, too. That's rough. All right, so we got Bryan over ZSJ. Say it again. What are you saying?
It's the style of wrestling that they're doing here in AEW. Yeah. Like, it's a tough pace to keep up with, and they're pushing each other really hard.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I'd like if they were safer, but you know, they're trying to give everything to the fans and themselves, and eventually things break, sadly, and it's happening, unfortunately, more frequently recently.
And sometimes it happens when you're not even wrestling. Sometimes it just happens when you're jumping off a ramp and landing awkwardly, and then everything breaks. Adam Cole told us this week that his ankle basically exploded. He tore tendons. He needs surgery. He's busted up. It's over. His ankle is done. Again. He's going to be gone for a long time. Again.
Like, how many guys, man? Like, it's crazy with AEW. Like, a lot of their top stars, too. It's like they come back, big injury, come back, big injury again. Like, damn. Like, it's really, you got to start thinking, like, maybe they just got to tone it down a little bit, because a lot of guys are getting hurt, and a lot of it's their top guys, too.
Yeah. It's unfortunate, but I think they have a lot of guys to fill the spots when some of these guys drop out. You know, there are guys waiting in the wings.
Yes and no. I mean, they have guys, but are they bigger draws, though? I feel that is where it's starting to hurt a little bit. And that's what might be hurting Wrestledream a little bit here, too. Like, it's good to have the Bryan Danielson match. It's good to have, but you need a good undercard, too. Mm-hmm. And I feel like their undercard is kind of struggling on this one.
Well, who are we missing right now in AEW? Moxley, Adam Cole.
Well, what happened to Wardlow? Like, is he...
Oh, he's been hurt for a while, right? No? I don't know. Well, I don't know what happened to Wardlow. I feel like they gave up on Wardlow, maybe. I don't know.
But he was going to be one of the top stars, it looked like. Like, they were building him, like, to be something.
Yeah.
And then, no, gone. Are we going to get a count out here?
Looks like a double count out in the main event of Rampage between Ruby Soho and Hikaru Shida. Or they're both going to make it. No, they're both going to make it. There you go.
Well, I hope, because
they made it, John.
The winner's supposed to face Saraya at some point.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. Kind of need a winner. Jamie Hayter, by the way, injured as well.
Jamie Hayter's injured as well.
Thunder Rosa.
And they fired CM Punk.
Well, yeah, and they got rid of CM Punk. So, yeah, they lost a lot here. Like, just in the span of, like, a couple of months here.
Yeah. Getting Edge and Sasha Banks would really be good for them right now. They need some talent.
Yeah, need is a great word.
I don't know who else is out there. Say it again.
Need. Yeah, they need them right now, I think, Edge and Sasha. But they need some new life. They need new excitement in AEW.
They need people to sell tickets.
That too.
Like, Seattle isn't the only market that's not doing well. Montreal is not doing well either.
Last I was told, we're at 6,000 for Dynamite. That's not great.
And probably less for Collision.
Probably less.
It's a 20,000 seat building.
The lowest tickets have sold more for Collision than they have for Dynamite. I've seen that so far.
Okay.
I actually helped sell tickets because like people didn't know about that. But I'll get no credit for AEW for that. You saw that.
People don't know about AEW even being here.
Yeah, well, that's it. Where's the advertisement?
There's no promotion. Nothing. No wonder they're not selling tickets. They don't have stars that people want to see, and they don't promote. I don't know what they're doing.
I feel like...
Isn't Jeff Jarrett in charge of that?
I think there's a bunch of people in charge of that. But I think for one, it seems like they tried doing it. They did this with Collision when they were in Michigan. Like, they kind of just hype up, oh, we're going to have RBD on the show. Like, it's going to be a great thing for the hometown crowd. And I could see that for Montreal. Like, there's rumors like PCO might be in, wrestling at the Bell Center. I could see that for Collision.
It would help.
A way to hook people.
It might help, but maybe PCO sells an extra 300 tickets? Maybe 1,000? If, like...
I can see, yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. Maybe. I don't know.
Again, Plas Bell would have been better, but whatever. Like,
yeah, I think the Plas Bell would have been better than the Bell Center. It's going to be a big old empty building for AEW. But that's it. AEW is like, it's not the hot company that it was. It doesn't have the momentum that it had. It's just not. It doesn't have the same buzz right now. AEW was like that alternative that was like WWE stale, we're done with it, da-da-da. AEW is the future. And now it's like, AEW is just that sideshow where everything goes wrong and it's kind of a mess. And WWE, they weathered the storm and they're stronger than ever. That's the vibe in wrestling, right? That's the vibe amongst wrestling fans.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look at AEW in 2021. Who they had, and like look at that like pay-per-view lineup they would have, like All Out, right? I think that was arguably the best AEW pay-per-view ever, right? Mm-hmm. I think you said it was. And you just look at who they had for that and who they have now, and it's like well, you have less now, so it's hard for people to like it as much because you don't have as much star power, you don't have as much interest, and regardless what Tony Khan says, like the stories aren't better or great right now. They're just kind of floating around. Like I know people love the MJF and Adam Cole story. Like I could not stand it this week. I was like, this is getting worse and worse every week. That whole fishing thing they did with Big Show, like, oh, I couldn't believe they aired that.
Adam Cole. See, I didn't hate that for a couple reasons, John.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Wow.
Now I understand why I should hate it, and I normally would hate it, but I didn't hate it, and I have to explain to you why. Okay?
You like fishing?
I don't think I've ever fished in my life on a boat. I've never done boat fishing. I don't know. I'm not a fisherman. But Adam Cole and MJF are on a boat on Long Island, right? They're partying, they're having a good time. Cole's on crutches. And MJF says to Adam Cole, how come you were on the phone there with Roderick Strong and you didn't come with me to the ring for my match? Like, it's okay, but how come? So he's questioning him on a boat about a phone call. So if you don't know what the reference is, maybe it's not that funny, but I knew exactly what he was doing right away on the boat. The way they were sitting, what they were doing. This was Sopranos, where Tony is thinking about killing Paulie. They're on a boat together. I don't know if you are that familiar with the scene, John, but it was a Sopranos reference where Paulie had told Johnny Sack about the joke Ralph made about Ginny Sack having the 90-pound mole removed from her ass, you know. Oh, Ralphie. So, Tony Soprano is on the boat with Paulie questioning him about a phone call. Like, you told Ralph or you told John about that, right? And Paulie's like, no, I didn't do it, Tony. I didn't do it. And it's like, okay. So MJF was kind of questioning Adam Cole, and then he goes to the cooler, and Tony went to the cooler at one point and was like looking at a knife and was thinking about stabbing Paulie with the knife. So MJF goes to the cooler and he pulls out the diamond ring and he's about to hit Adam Cole with it on the boat. And then Adam Cole's like, hey, did you come out here to hit me with the diamond ring and throw me off the boat? And MJF's like, no, I would never do that. Like, he was caught in that moment. But all of that was all Sopranos references, which, you know, I'm down for. So that's why I like that, because it was just one big tribute to that scene from The Sopranos where Tony's thinking about killing Paulie, which I think was Tony's ultimate downfall. And then Cole and MJF are talking, and Cole says, I'm friends with Roderick Strong, but I know you're new to having friends, and friends can have other friends, and you don't have to have just one friend. And MJF is like, oh, I don't know. I think I'm only gonna have one friend, but if you say so, then I support you, my friend. And it was lame. Like, it wasn't cool.
So bad.
But then I thought it was kind of funny when they went to catch a fish. They went fishing and they caught Big Show in the water. And I was like, it's Big Show. And any excuse to see Big Show, I'm down with. So those are the reasons why. It was Sopranos stuff, and also Big Show was there. And, like, AEW has him signed, and I don't see him nearly enough. I love the Big Show. I love Sopranos, and I love Big Show. So, sorry. I liked it. I kind of liked it.
Like, I'm not saying I hate Big Show. It's just like they could use him better than that. He doesn't need to be used just like a whatever, like, oh, it's just Big Show out of nowhere kind of thing. You could actually use him in something good, actually, in wrestling. That was just like, we need an ending. Silly ending. That's all it was.
Why don't they use him for anything? What's he there for? What does he do in
think
AEW?
He just had surgery recently, though.
Okay.
I don't know if it was on his knee or something, so I don't know if he can wrestle yet, so that might be the problem. I mean, he's mainly a commentator. He was a commentator for a little bit, wasn't he? He was doing Dark, and I think
on the YouTube shows, but now
He did a segment at All In, right? He attacked Jeff Jarrett's team.
He did?
Yeah, it happened before the pre-show. They had that. Yeah, I don't know if you saw that.
How do you see things before the pre-show?
Because it was airing on YouTube, I think. They had like a YouTube pre-show.
Pre-show.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I didn't see that.
AEW is always going, man. I this week too, like Will Nightingale had like an eye patch. I'm like, well, I missed that. I obviously like blinked for a second and I missed something that happened to AEW.
Well, she's a pirate now, I think.
What? No, she's not a pirate. Like it's because of they sprayed it with mist or something, but they didn't show it.
Oh. I thought she was just changing her name to Willow Lafitte.
Yeah, not so much. Needs a better bandana.
It's another PCO reference. Another PCO reference we just dropped there, John. It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's good for Carl.
See if we can fit another one in before the end of the show. All right?
Oh, I could fit a couple in there, but it's going to be forced.
Yeah, don't force it. I'm just saying. Willow Nightingale, eye patch, Jean-Pierre Lafitte, PCO. I mean, that was an easy one. Slam dunk, John. Slam dunk. All right. You know what was crazy on Dynamite this week, just before we get to back to the pay-per-view? Ray Phoenix wrestled Jeff Jarrett to retain the AEW International title. And at one point, Ray Phoenix is like attacking guys outside the ring and fighting Jeff Jarrett outside the ring. And Karen Jarrett stands right in front of Ray Phoenix. And I think Karen maybe slapped him or something.
Backraked.
She backraked him. And then Ray Phoenix double goozled her.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw that.
And I was like, what the fuck are you doing, Ray Phoenix? 2 weeks
She's
in a
crazy.
row, Ray
She's
Phoenix
crazy.
is just stepping over the line. First, he kills John Moxley last week. This week, he's choking Karen Jarrett. He's choking a woman on TV. What are you doing? And he did it, and then he caught himself, and he's like, He like put his hands down. He's like, oh, no, I can't do what I do at home and TV, you know? Because, dude, if you're doing that to a woman on TV, if that's your first reaction, I got a question, like, why is that your first reaction? When is that ever a thing that you just go, oh, hey, let me double goozle her? Fuck, man. Come on, man. Ray Phoenix, what was that? You can't do that and be a primetime wrestling company and do that. Like, it's just, it looks so bad. And if people were really paying attention, they'd go, what the fuck? Terrible.
Well, let's get into when the match actually starts. Because when the match actually starts, there's another thing that happens. I thought the match was actually okay.
The match was good.
No,
I'm saying it took forever for the match to actually start. They were doing a lot of stuff outside the ring.
Jeff Jarrett always does the parade, the clown car, like so many people. But it helps for him. Like, it's what he does. It's his thing. But he threw Ray to the outside one point, and then Karen came around, and Aubrey saw this, and like went after Karen and like tackled her.
Yes.
On the outside. I'm like, what the heck was that?
Yeah. Why did the referee just go tackle Karen Jarrett for some reason? Didn't she have a match though against Karen? Like, they have beef, don't they? Didn't they wrestle?
Do, but still. They did wrestle. They had a 6-person match, but still, like, just because she's coming around the apron doesn't mean you can tackle her as an official. Like, that didn't make any sense. And that took away from everything that was going on too, because that took all the attention away.
Who, outside of people that work for AEW, who likes Ref Aubrey as a babyface wrestling character that wrestles and does shit? Like, who is a fan of that? Who is popping for Ref Aubrey when Ref Aubrey comes out? I don't know anybody that likes her. In fact, I think more people dislike her. I feel like the general consensus of wrestling fans is, oh, she's a heel. You know, like, we're kind of not beloved by the wrestling fans that I hear from. So I just wonder, what is AEW's insistence on pushing her as some sort of babyface character in their company? Why not just a referee? Why does she have to do this extra stuff, like do matches and jump on Karen Jarrett, because I don't see a business reason to do it. I don't see why in any way it makes money for AEW. I don't know if it's putting asses in seats. I fucking doubt it. And it's like, who wants to see that? Who likes that? When Ref Aubrey tackles Karen Jarrett, do people go, yeah, she got her? Or do people go, what's she doing? Because I didn't hear a huge pop when that happened. I think people were more like, what's going on there? It's just a bunch of confusion. She's not a character people, are getting behind. Anyways, Ray Phoenix beat Jeff Jarrett. Jeff went for the figure 4. Phoenix reversed it with an inside cradle for the pin, which is exactly how Terry Funk beat Jack Briscoe for the NWA World Title in 1975, John. So that's a little wrestling history for you, brother. Rest in peace, Terry Funk and Jack Briscoe. Legends of the game.
I feel Dusty may have done the same thing, too, to beat Flair at one point.
It was a popular finish.
Yeah.
I'm sure Jeff Jarrett's seen it done many times. But I think Funk Briscoe may have been the first ones to do it. Like, they may have invented 75, the spot.
75, you're probably right, yeah.
I was actually listening to Meltzer on Jericho's podcast. They did a tribute about Terry Funk, which I thought was good. Nice historical perspective on the Funker. And that was one of the things they were talking about, the match with Jack Briscoe. And I went back, I watched it, and that was the finish. And that's how Ray Phoenix beat Jeff Jarrett this week. But next week, Ray Phoenix has a tougher challenge. It's Nick Jackson from the Young Bucks, who won a triple threat match against Claudio Castagnoli and Brian Cage to get a title shot. Yeah, I like that. Nick Jackson versus Ray Phoenix next week. I'd like to see Nick Jackson win that international title next week.
I don't think he will, but
why not?
It's nice for you to think that. I mean, he's already the ROH trio champion, right?
So?
Potentially might face FTR for the tag team titles again. He's already in a lot of championship opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
And Ray just won the title, so, I mean, I know it wasn't supposed to happen, but you're going to just have another short title reign?
Yeah. Why not? He's not supposed to be champion. I don't think that you should reward this guy for doing what he did to Jon Moxley and just let him have a nice, lengthy title run that's just good for his career. I don't think that's a right message to send. I think, yeah, okay, it was an unfortunate incident. Ray Phoenix had to win the belt for the night, but I think you pivot away from Ray Phoenix as quickly as possible because he's not the guy. He's not the guy that's done it. If anything, he's the guy that hurt one of your top guys in Jon Moxley. You're going to reward him with a title reign where he has multiple matches on TV every week? How does that make sense?
Well, I don't think they see it the same way you do, in the sense that they don't really put the blame on Ray Phoenix. No, I don't think they put the blame on Ray Phoenix.
Okay.
No, I don't think they blame him. Like, things happen. It's unfortunate, like you said, but that's just the nature of the business. That's the way it happens.
Though, right? He did it. Twice.
He did, but, well, you're talking about the tombstone then, I'm guessing, right?
Yeah.
Again, unfortunate situation, and really, I wouldn't put the blame on Ray on that second one. It's more on Rick Knox.
Yeah.
Because he should have ended the match. So, I don't really blame Ray that he's put in a spot where it's like, oh, what do I do kind of thing, on the spot. So, he shouldn't have been put in that situation to begin with.
Yeah. Nevertheless, I've always thought it'd be interesting to see a singles run from Nick Jackson, and I think now is a perfect opportunity to go in that direction. See what he can do. I liked his reaction when he won the triple threat. Like, oh, I won. Look at that. It was good. Match was good, too.
Thought it was okay. I was actually more looking forward to seeing more Claudio against Brian Cage. I thought that was kind of really interesting.
Yeah.
It was all right with Nick, but Claudio and Cage, like that could be a good 1-on-1, I think.
That giant spin that Claudio did on Cage was very impressive. Cage is a big dude.
Yeah. And he powerbombed him too? Like, yes. That's impressive, man.
Claudio's a monster. Claudio is so legit. I like him a lot. I think AEW should do a little bit more with him right now. I kind of thought he was going to win that match and then just beat Rey Fenix, and it was like, oh, Claudio is the champion now. Moxley lost it, now Claudio is the champ.
Yeah, I can see that.
They didn't do that. They didn't do that yet, anyways. Nick Jackson, Rey Fenix for that international title next week on Dynamite. Coming up this Sunday on Wrestledream, Johnny North, we've got Hangman Page versus Swerve Strickland. They closed the show with a promo, a contract signing that I didn't love. I think the match will be good, but the promo was...
I didn't like it either, but...
Was a dud.
Why was the end of the show?
I don't know.
Like, if this was the start of the show, I don't think it would have been as bad, but the fact that we ended the show with this, and it's like, you're supposed to end on a high note. Like, that was just kind of flat.
Yeah. From both guys.
Well, you need something to happen, you know? Like, nothing really happened there.
And the whole story is like, Swerve is saying, Hangman, you used to be like a single star. You were a world champion, and for the past year and a half or so, you've been kind of shit. I'd like to see you become better, and I'm going to beat you up to make you better. And Hangman's like, well, I've been kind of sad because CM Punk kind of shit on me, and, you know, Punk's been around. It's been kind of bad.
Black Cloud.
He said Black Cloud, but he's like, Black Cloud's been following me around for like a year and a half, and it's like, that's about the time. You know? People are like, they put two and two together. They're like, oh, CM Punk's made you sad for a couple of years, but now he's gone, and you feel rejuvenated. You were rejuvenated, and now you're rejuvenated again. You're rejuvenated. Hangman Swerve. I think the match will be good. I think Hangman should win. He needs a win, you know? I think what Swerve is saying is true, and it's something that a lot of wrestling fans are feeling. It's like, hey, Hangman, you were the most over babyface in this company. What happened? Ever since you lost the title to CM Punk, I mean, kind of ever since you won the title, you know, like you were the most over babyface in the company, then you won the belt, and people were like, yeah. You know?
The title reign wasn't great, yeah. You had him losing to Bryan, like in his first defense or something.
I never wanted him to win in the first place. I thought it was not the right time. You should have pushed it even further, and people would have wanted it more, and it would have worked better had they not done it. But they don't listen to me. Booker of the Year, Tony Khan, he's not listening to me. Right?
They don't listen to either of us. Don't worry.
No, I know they're not listening. They'd be better off if they did. Pay attention, Tony. Call me up. I would be glad to help, but I doubt it. Hangman should beat Swerve. I know it's Swerve's hometown, but, like, who cares? Bryan's going to win in the hometown. Swerve is a heel. Go with Hangman. Right?
You know, that's interesting. Because you say it's his hometown, and it's like, yeah, Bryan's going to win his hometown. I feel Darby will not win his hometown. Swerve's the tough one here. It's difficult. Because maybe he should win, actually. Maybe. And you could put some doubt on Hangman a little bit. Yeah.
I could see it going either way.
I'll go with Swerve.
Yeah.
I can go with Swerve on this one.
I'll tell you, though, this Swerve character, the promos, everything that he does, it just doesn't work, man. As soon as he opens his mouth, I go, like, I just don't believe anything he's saying, and it's boring, and it's just like, oh, man. He's got a cool look. He's a really good wrestler in the ring. There's so much about Swerve that I go, yeah, I want to get behind this. This is something I like. But then he starts talking, I go, shut up, man. You know, I'm just like, yeah. Weak. Same old shit. Tired. Recycled. Derivative. Bullshit. Next. You know? It's just, I wish there was more there. Because there's so, like, everything else was really good. Everything else is working for him, you know? It's just those promos, you go, man, you're not saying anything, are you? And it's just not even interesting the way you're saying it.
It's hit or miss right now, but I think it just depends on who he gets. Sometimes he has good chemistry with some people, sometimes he does. I thought the stuff he did with Keith Lee was really good, and yeah, this stuff hasn't really hit so much, but maybe it's just there's enough like chemistry, fire there. I don't know. It's tough too because Hangman, he doesn't really have much to bounce off of, like you can like bash him, make fun of him and all that, and he just like doesn't really say much back.
No.
He
just kind of goes, yeah, I guess that's true. He's like sad about it. You say mean stuff to Hangman and he's just like sad. He's like, like you're just like, oh, sorry about that. I guess that was over the line, Hangman. He's like, yeah, it was. Hangman's just sad.
So I feel it's just not a great matchup for him in terms of promos. I think in terms of in the ring though, it should be pretty good. Like you said, one of the better matches you see at Wrestledream, but promo wise, it doesn't hit as well. I do like him with Prince Nana though.
Yeah, I find fun with the dance. I guess I don't know. FTR versus the Aussie Open. FTR should win that match, retain their AEW Tag Team Championship. I mean, it's not even a question.
There's a lack of build again. Like they lost to Jericho and Sammy Guevara, a team that breaks up later, and then they're getting a tag team title shot, and they didn't really push this in the right way. It's just like, well, this is a good team that we just signed, and we always want to put them as FTR, so now we're just going to do it.
But they've lost to not just Sammy and Jericho, but they lost before that when we first got to know them to MJF and Adam Cole. Right off the bat, it was easy for them. Like, they're just losing constantly, and now they're supposed to be challengers for the FTR and the AEW tag titles. Like, what? It's not credible. It's just a match. Could be on Collision, but instead it's on pay-per-view for some reason. They should have scratched this from the card. What's the point of this? Dax and Cash aren't from Seattle. Scratch it. And I know Aussie Open better not be from Seattle. Otherwise, they got some explaining to do with their Australian gimmick. Right? If I had to find out Aussie Open are on the card because they're from Seattle, I'm going to be pissed. I'm going to be like, hey, what's with all that crikey shit then, huh? What's with all that shrimp on the Barbie bullshit, Australia? Hey, I'm more Australian. No, you're not. You're from Seattle. Fucking liars. I don't want to see them on the show. Hello, mate. I'm Australian. Crikey. See, I can pretend too. I'm going to do a gimmick too. I'm going to be Australian guy. Hello, matey.
It's a great start of having Australian fans, especially with the Elimination Chamber coming up.
Australia loves us, baby. We love you, Australia. I just think it would be funny if, like, an American guy pretended he was Australian to do an Australian gimmick. It's like, why would you do that? Strange. Happens.
Well, it's been done before.
Of course. Happens all the time. Like, there's a Filipino guy in the LWO. No one minds. Joaquin Wilde is Filipino. He's not Spanish. He's not from Mexico. What's he doing in the Latino world order? Doesn't make sense. It's okay. Kofi Kingston's not Jamaican. Roddy Piper's not really from Scotland. It's what it is.
Canadian, yeah.
Yeah. I remember I yelled at one of the Highlanders. I was like 15. I was sitting on the ramp, Highlanders come out. It was like they were new, They're in their like Scottish gear. And I yell out, and they're coming right by me, and I never seen them before. I'm like, what are you guys, Roddy Pipers? And the guy turns around, he's like, I am Scottish! He was like all mad. I was like, what? What's wrong with you? Tremendous. He's so pissed. Why would you I don't know, the one who was Scottish. Because the other one wasn't even, right? He was American. One of them wasn't Scottish. Right? The Scottish one turned around, I am Scottish! And he was so mad about it. He was like, oh! He's like, Roddy Piper's not Scottish. I'm really look at me. I'm wearing a kilt. I've got the accent. I was like, all right, guy. Wait until you see Drew McIntyre. You're going to be out of a job there, buddy. Fuck it. All right. Anyways, I think Aussie Open are Australian, and I know they will lose to FTR. MJF will be defending the Ring of Honor World Tag Team titles by himself against the Wyatt family. Sorry, no. The B version Wyatt family, the Righteous. Those guys, I saw their promo. I'd never seen these guys do promos before. This is some bootleg Wyatt family bullshit. This is so bad. I can't believe that this is a thing. And I know this has probably existed for years in Ring of Honor. And like, I don't care. I know what this is. This is like, hey man, let's do this creepy Wyatt family type gimmick. And then they do it, and then they never realized that they would get on like national TV with it, and then people are like, what is this fucking Wyatt family shit? Get out of here, the Righteous. Vincent, fucking B version Bray Wyatt. I don't know, man. That promo was garbage. That like little vignette thing they aired on Dynamite, I was like, what is this? More Wyatt family? I thought, yeah. They don't exist anymore. It's not a thing. It wasn't Bray Wyatt, though. It was Vincent. There's only one Vincent in wrestling, okay? And he was in NWO, and he used to be known as Virgil. That's the only Vincent I recognize, okay? Vincent. Anyways, MJF defending these belts by himself for some reason. Adam Cole is hurt. MJF says he wants to defend the belts by himself because he doesn't want to give them up. Okay. Let's start with that. We'll get to some other MJF stuff here after Jay White and everything, because that was a thing on Dynamite.
Well, first off, this is your AEW World Champion.
Yeah,
and he
should beat these jabronis easy.
Well, you're setting up where it's like he has to lose, right? Because it's a handicap match, but he's your world champion, so yeah, he shouldn't lose. But you're also like not having your world champion in like a top match. I just don't understand this. It doesn't make a lot of sense. You could have had a top team. You know, it could have been him against like the Hardys or something. That could have been like even against the Kingdom, because at least he was feuding with them, right?
Yeah.
But no, you took a team that you didn't really hype whatsoever and just bam, put them on a pay-per-view. Like, I just don't understand this booking whatsoever.
Me neither. I don't get it. He should beat these guys because they seem like total jabronis.
You wouldn't have like Roman Reigns versus like the LWO tag team, you know? That wouldn't make pay-per-view.
No.
Ever.
No.
Like, I just baffled by this. Absolutely baffled. Well, yeah, I think MJF should win.
Yeah.
Like, if he doesn't, like, I mean, of course you can make reasons for him not to win, but even if you make these stupid reasons, he should still win anyways.
Yeah, this is a stupid match. It's a stupid situation. It's all bad. And then what? MJF retains here, and how long does he hold the Ring of Honor tag belts for? If Adam Cole really needs ankle surgery and he's going to be out for like 6 months, does he just keep defending him by himself every once in a while? It's strange.
Yeah, they're in a bad spot with this. They're in a really bad... They're just going to have to make him give up the tag team title. That's what's going to have to happen.
Do the mysterious goons appear during this match? Now, if you don't know about the mysterious goons, we will talk about the mysterious goons, okay? And we will give out wild theories about who the mysterious goons could be, including dead people and whatever. I'm throwing out all names.
Wow. Crazy.
It's The Undertaker! No. So MJF says, you know, Adam Cole, I'm going to defend the belts while, you know, you're gone. And then Roderick Strong comes out, and he's like, Adam, I need you, Adam. He's like being a little bitch, and Adam Cole's like, okay, I'm going to go and give you a hug and kiss or something. I don't know. He just leaves with them. That whole thing is super weird, too. It's like, what is this now? What is the Roderick Strong, Adam Cole story? Like, what? Well, Adam Cole is still friends. Adam Cole's like, I'm friends with this guy. You're friends with this guy? This guy who comes out, like every week, he's just like a little bitch. You're still friends with this guy? At a certain point, you go, hey, man, if he's your friend, Adam Cole, at a certain point, you got to go, you're kind of being a little bitch, man. What's your problem? He has no problem checking MJF like, hey, man, sometimes it's cool to have other friends. He checks MJF at every turn. Roderick Strong is being a total idiot, and he's like, got to help my friend. He's in need. What is that shit? Fucking dumb. It's dumb. It doesn't make sense. Why would Adam Cole continue to give in to this if he's a guy we're supposed to like? Adam Cole, right? We're supposed to like Adam Cole. Why would he be friends with this fucking loser of a guy?
Well, let's try to explain the logic here. It's tough. It's not easy, but
loyalty from the past, right?
That's the main thing, I think, right? Just long-term friendship and all that. And despite, like, you can take the whole Sammy Jericho thing, except this is not going to lead to a turn yet, where it's like, despite all your faults, whatever, like, we're still friends, despite everything. That's kind of the thing I think what's going on. So that's what it seems. Even though it does seem ridiculous, and, you know, Adam Cole should be like, hey, man, like, one, I have a broken foot now, you know, like, you need me. Like, I can't do anything on crutches, but whatever. Like, to me, that kind of set it up that I feel like they are the masked guys. Because, like, who else went off to do something but them?
Yeah. It makes the most sense, right? So Jay White comes out after Adam Cole leaves and interrupts MJF. And he says, hey, MJF, you know, revel in your moment. You get to be alone with the Switchblade. And MJF is like, you must be smoking some great Colorado grass. And the crowd chants weed. And MJF says that mid-mic work won't cut it here. And White has pubic hair for a goatee. And he was once offended when he read that MJF is good, but he's no Jay White. And he's like, Jay White's good, but he's no MJF. And MJF just decimates Jay White, comparing White to tofu and himself to filet mignon. And it was a brilliant promo, brilliant comparison. And it was pretty damn good. And Jay White's like, oh, I came out for the MJF promo, and I'm kind of let down from that. And then the fans are like, yeah, tofu. They're just chanting tofu at him. They're behind MJF 100%. And Jay White cuts a promo about taking the AEW title from MJF, and MJF has gone soft. Very long promo from these guys. I thought Jay White's promo dragged. Like, I don't think Jay White was in the same league of MJF. I've seen a lot of people say they like Jay White's promo and it was a good promo battle, but if that's a promo battle, man, MJF won that shit 10-8. I mean, come on.
Well, yeah, I don't disagree with you on that one. And here's the thing, like, if we're getting this for Full Gear, like, it's a letdown because, like, I don't know about you, like, I felt we were getting Punk versus MJF. So, you know, you put Punk in that situation instead of Jay White.
Yeah.
You know, the promo level, like, increases tenfold on that one. No offense, Jay White, but you're no CM Punk. So,
yep.
That's where it's kind of, again, it's a bit of a letdown. Like, it's Jay White's good, but, I mean, he's not, like, superstar level in terms of a promo. And, like, yeah, MJF is going to not kill him, but for the most part, roast him. And he did.
Yeah, he owned him. It was good, though. That MJF promo was killer. That tuna filet mignon promo was good. Good. And he has the crowd eating out of the palm of his hand, too. Like, that's rock level crowd control. You know, like, no one is on the level. And then the crowd's like, of the devil. Like, man, he's got the catchphrases, and they're singing along with the champ. That is some high-level pro wrestling shit. Where you see MJF and you go, everybody else on this roster pales in comparison. He is so good. And it's not Jay White's fault. Jay White's in there with a generational talent. Jay White is a great wrestler. He's a great heel. He's a great talent. Huge signing for AEW. But MJF he's something else, man. He's on another level. He's another level of pro wrestler. He's incredible. And Jay White also, he never really made his name doing those in-ring promo segments. That's not what they do in New Japan. So he doesn't have a ton of practice doing that, but even if he had a ton of practice doing that, I don't think he'd ever get to where MJF is, because no one gets to where MJF is. It's just who he is.
No, you need someone who could go toe-to-toe with him, kind of thing, like a Punk. And I don't think there's too many other people that could, I think, in AEW. So, yeah, they don't have anybody if you think about it.
Promo-wise, with MJF, I think Bryan Danielson can hang. I think Christian could definitely hang.
Christian, yeah. Bryan, we saw it. It was okay, but it wasn't, amazing.
Yeah, he hung in there, though, Some guys just look like kind of shell-shocked. But Christian and MJF are the two best promo guys in AEW right now.
They're two of the best things going, period, in AEW right now, so yeah.
Yeah. Did you see Botchamania this week? Like the latest Botchamania?
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, man.
I haven't seen this one.
One of the endings is just Christian. It's Christian's theme song, but it's just Christian, dubbed over saying, "Dead. Your father's dead. I understand you have a father, and he's dead." It's just so good. Whoever did that is really, really
the
well
promo
done
with
there.
Darby this week, I thought was very good. I know it was edited, but the general point that Christian was getting across was fantastic.
That Darby had an uncle, and he's dead.
And Darby knew it was coming, too.
Yeah. Darby, I understand you have an uncle, and I understand that uncle is dead. It's like, God damn. If you have a dead family member, do not feud with Christian, because he will be saying that shit to you right in your face. For real. Oh,
yeah.
Man. Christian's so good. I understand you have a father. Nick Wayne, I understand you have a father. I understand your father is dead. Brian Pillman, he did it too. Jungle Boy, he did it too. Nick Wayne, he's doing it too. Darby Allin, it's the uncle that's dead. Like anybody who's... Wardlow, he did it too. Did he do it to Wardlow?
I don't know if he did it to Wardlow. He could have. But I don't remember if he did it or not.
Wasn't there a thing with Wardlow and his dad and Samoa? That was with the Samoa Joe match, maybe? Why Wardlow cut his hair? No, Joe cut his hair, and then Wardlow explained that he grew his hair for his dad who died, right?
Right. Yeah.
And I don't think Christian's done any promos about that.
Because that feud didn't last long enough, because it was a one and done.
Oh, John. Untapped dead relatives for Christian. Wardlow. He's talked about his dead father on TV. Come on, Christian. Let's go. Get Wardlow back in here so he could lose to the new TNT champion. I mean, Wardlow was deep in that TNT title division, right? So it would make sense for him to come back and feud with Christian so Christian could say, I understand you have a father, and I understand he's dead. The crowd's going to start popping when he starts doing it, right? At a certain point, like when he gets to Wardlow and Christian goes, I understand you have a father. If the crowd doesn't go, and I understand your father is dead, they're not doing the right job. Like if it's in Montreal, I know at least 200-300 guys are going to be like, and he's dead. He's dead. He's dead. Start chanting he's dead.
Yeah, Montreal will be kind of vulgar, of course. Yeah, without question.
And got to support Christian, man. He's our fellow Canadian.
Well, you might have Edge. It might be Edge versus Christian by then, so wait and see what happens with that.
I'm sure Edge. I don't know if Edge's father's still alive, but probably not.
It'll be interesting to see what happens with that one.
Let's go, Christian.
If they do, are they going to do Edge versus Christian or Edge with Christian? I mean, there's a lot they could do with that kind of stuff. I mean, Edge and Christian against the Hardys, you can do that again.
I would like them to be a team. I would like that.
I mean, you do. I think you do it all, really, when you think about it. Against each other, with each other. I think at first against each other, though. Because Edge will be a face when he comes in.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong about that. So MJF, Jay White have this long promo segment. It's clear Jay White is next for MJF. At the end of the show, 4 men in all black and masks and everything are beating up Jay White backstage. And one guy has a devil mask that's kind of like the MJF devil mask. So it makes you wonder, who are these guys beating up Jay White? Is it MJF and some new goons? Is it the Kingdom guys? I figured it was the Kingdom guys. I figured it was either MJF with Roderick Strong, Taven, and Bennett, right? That's 4 guys right there. Yeah. Maybe it's Adam Cole, or they're saying it's they're acting like it's Adam Cole under the mask, but it's not really Adam Cole. It's somebody else playing the part of Adam Cole. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's Adam Cole, and those guys doing it for MJF. I don't know, but it definitely seems like the best bets would be those Kingdom guys who are now aligned with MJF, just not publicly, and eventually we'll find out that they're all one big heel group, which would make sense. Right? If everybody's friends with Adam Cole, why not join up? Become one big group and rule over AEW.
They have to change things up because of the injury to Adam Cole, right? So I think that makes the most sense to just put them all together instead.
So that may be it. Some people pointing at Andrade. I think he's got some unfinished business with Jay White. Could be joining up with the Ingobernables.
The Andrade.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I think it points to the Kingdom, most likely, right? Those guys. Because MJF has heat with Jay White, so why wouldn't they attack him?
Well, I saw some people say it's Edge, and it's like, again, kind of too small to be Edge. Edge is very tall.
Well, if it is Edge, or whatever they're saying, like, say it's not Adam Copeland, but in the story it is Adam Copeland, right? Like, say he didn't play that part, but eventually it will be. If it's him, who are the 3 other guys? He's coming in with 3 other guys. Who are they?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Like, that doesn't really add up. Yeah. It's like, it's Edge, because Edge is coming to AEW. Okay. And he's coming with 3 other guys? Really? Who are, like, it doesn't make sense. Who would they be? I don't think it's Edge.
It's his new Judgment Day.
Yeah, but who would that be?
I have no idea.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Beth and somebody.
Maybe some current AEW guys, just kind of elevate them. But
he's friends with FTR. It's possible.
I doubt it. I don't think it's Edge. I think it's most likely, one of those the Kingdom guys. But we'll find out. It was interesting, right? When it happened at the end of the show, you're like, oh, what is that? Dolph Ziggler. Could it be Dolph Ziggler? DJ Bourne saying Dolph Ziggler.
Too early.
But I think, their 90-day no-compete after they were released, I think it ends.
Next year, I think.
Yeah, like January. So I wouldn't expect any of them till January. Jumping the gun a little bit on those guys. Chris Jericho and the Golden Elite, Kenny and Kota, take on Konosuke Takeshita, Sammy Guevara, and Will Ospreay. I know you said Bryan versus Zack Sabre would be match of the night, but I think that this one has, a chance to steal that from them. This one looks pretty good.
Maybe. I think it'll be good, but this is more of a spot fest, though.
There's a lot of story behind it, though, too. Jericho's in it, like the whole Sammy Guevara thing. Anytime you have Ospreay and Kenny in the ring together, that's magical stuff. This could be very good. I'm expecting this to be excellent.
Well,
when's
Brian
the last time?
Like
when have Jericho and Kenny ever teamed together?
They're teaming tomorrow.
Right, on Collision. But I'm saying.
Right.
Yeah. Any other time in AEW other than spoiling it before the pay-per-view?
No, they just like to do that like right before 24 hours for the pay-per-view. They'll destroy that stat.
Yeah. Hey, Kenny and Jericho have never teamed together. Amazing. What a cool attraction for our pay-per-view. Yeah, let's just give it away on Collision the night before. What? All right.
Questionable booking on that one, but
I think the Don Callis family will win that match, though.
Yeah,
they're on a bit of a roll.
They seem to win a lot, though. Yeah, they're on a huge roll. They always win.
Yeah.
But, yeah, because they have Ospreay. And for whatever reason, like, he seems to always win when he's in AEW, so why would he lose now?
Yeah. They did that promo. They attacked. They showed Takeshita and Don Callis attacking Ibushi in Japan.
It looked bad at first. Oof. Some of those punches were really awful. Like,
yeah,
they had like the trainees, whatever. Whew, that looked bad.
Yeah.
When Ibushi got it there, it got a bit better, but they got to work on that. That was taped too. Like, come on.
Yeah, it wasn't a great segment. Sammy Guevara tried to cut a promo, but the crowd was just booing him. They weren't interested.
I'm telling you, this Sammy heel turn, like, I don't get it, man. Like, it just doesn't make, like, you've turned him so many times, like, you lost the people on this one, I think. Like, yeah, they're going to boo him, but I don't think they're ever going to really cheer him ever again now for this, because you turned him too much.
And he's left Jericho so many times, I don't think people care anymore.
Yeah.
Like, he's left Jericho so many times. And now it's supposed to be like, oh, this one means something. It's like, well, he left the Inner Circle. He left the Jericho Appreciation Society. Like, he's gone off. Remember when he broke up with Jericho because they let MJF into the Inner Circle, and Sammy's like, well, I don't want to be here anymore. Like, he's left Jericho so many times throughout the years. At this point, I go, and?
Right.
It's, they try to make it mean something, but it just doesn't because you've done it too much. You've done it way too much.
So you see why I'm not really hyped by this pay-per-view. Kind of disappointed. And, like, I feel they need to space this out better. We've already had 2 pay-per-views recently, and you had Grand Slam. And, like, a week later, now we're having another pay-per-view. It's a little bit of overkill, I find, right now with AEW.
Yeah. It's a lot. It's a lot. Porter Concierge says, tonight in Sudbury, my son fought former ROH TV champion Marty Scurll in a tag team match. I didn't know Marty Scurll was still getting bookings. Cool. Right?
Yeah, he still does, yeah. He still gets bookings, yeah. That's awesome, though.
Yeah, no, cool for your son, but...
yeah.
Marty Scurll. I don't know. I wouldn't book him. I didn't know he was still getting bookings, is what I'm saying. Right? There were allegations about Marty Scurll that basically derailed his wrestling career. I didn't know he was still wrestling. I know he was trying to. I just didn't know it was successful. Although he's not, I think. I think he would have been in AEW at this point had those allegations not been true, or at least still a big deal in Ring of Honor.
Right.
Shout out Jason Pete in the chat, member of the team over at join.ringsidereport.net. Shout out to Jason. Be like Jason and Leor. Go to join.ringsidereport.net. Support the Ringside Report Network. Join.ringsidereport.net. King of Hueco Mundo says, all I know, AEW pay-per-views are diamonds. Never been let down. Well, that's good. I think this is going to be a good card. I think we're going to see some good wrestling matches. So I have the Don Callis family winning. You think they win or no?
Yeah, I think so. Because Ospreay hasn't lost in AEW. He's not going to lose now, finally, in like a meaningless like 6-man.
Yeah, although if he was ever to lose, maybe in a match where he doesn't have to take the fall. But yeah, I think Don Callis family wins.
I don't know about that.
Christian Cage defending his newly won TNT title in a 2 out of 3 falls match against Darby Allin. This, again, could be match of the night. This could be the best match on the card, right?
I think, yeah. To look forward to.
Well, Bryan and Zack Sabre is pretty good too, man. I don't know.
Yeah, but I've seen this match. Like, they had this match on Collision. I told you, like, that was one of the best matches they had.
Yeah.
So 2 out of 3 falls, like, yeah, that's gonna be pretty good.
I think Christian wins.
Yeah, I agree. Because, like, they've already done this story with Darby where his hometown, trying to win the TNT title. He did this with Samoa Joe like January 1st or something, no? This happened?
Yeah.
Or roughly around that. I'm not 100% sure on the date.
Yeah, exactly, it was around then.
It was around then. And he already won the TNT title. It's like good for him, and he's going to try again. I think this just goes to show you don't always get to win. It's going to happen. He's probably going to get a pinfall.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah. The match should be excellent, though. I'm a big fan of both guys. I think they're both, they're two of my favorites in AEW. They're awesome. Eddie Kingston against Katsuyori Shibata. This is for Eddie's Ring of Honor World Championship and Strong Openweight Championship, the New Japan Strong belt that he's got. I think Eddie Kingston retains, right? He's going to beat Shibata, which...
Yeah.
All right.
Again, the problem here is just the lack of build here. It's just, Eddie Kingston's going to have a match, defend both his titles against someone who's already a champion. So, yeah, of course Eddie's going to win the match. So it kind of takes away any belief that he's going to lose, because he's not going to lose all the titles to one guy. And did we get any build towards this at all, really? Like, besides a promo or something? Was there any kind of match or...
Don't think so.
Anything? And again, it's good if you've watched Shibata in Ring of Honor. We've seen him every so often in AEW, but not really hyped for this. This is what's hurting the pay-per-view a lot for me. Is like there's a couple of good matches on it, but overall, like not everything's like a must-see match.
Yeah, a few of them I could just scrap altogether. FTR against Aussie Open, I would scrap that. Eddie Kingston and Shibata, I would scrap. Ricky Starks, Wheeler, Yuta, I would scrap. 3 matches right there.
I wouldn't scrap FTR. That's gonna be a good match. FTR. I get why.
It could be on Collision. It doesn't need to be on pay-per-view.
I guess, but it's still gonna be a good match, though.
Yeah, but so what? That's not the point. The point is, it's an 11-match card that doesn't need to be. You don't have to make every pay-per-view 4 or 5 hours. Like, come on, guys. What are we doing?
I didn't realize we're 11 now. Wow, okay.
Yeah, it's 11 matches total. It's ridiculous. It's taking us like 3 hours to get through this goddamn preview. Stupid. Chris Statlander defending her title against Julia Hart. I don't think this is going to be any good. I think Statlander will definitely win. I couldn't give a shit. Next.
Wow, I remember you were like the hugest like Julia Hart fan when she first showed up when she was only 17.
No, I wasn't.
Yeah, you were just like, wow. Yeah, you were blown away by her at first. And then you found out she was only 17 and you're like, oh, wait a minute, never mind. But
no, you're fucking joking. What are you talking about? I don't remember this at all.
You actually go back on the videos actually. You're like, oh, Julia Hart, she looks great and all this.
Well, because she fit the role with those guys she was with. Like they had a whole gimmick going. Right? She looked like the cheerleader. Blonde. Like she was perfectly cast in that role, right? It was like perfect with the Pillman and the Griff Garrison, whatever happened to that guy. Right? Like that package that they had out there. I was like, yeah, this works. You're making it seem creepy, John. I was like, she's got a good look for the group. You fucking guy. Because I'm like, really, Julia Hart? I'm like, I don't know. I don't see it. I don't know what you're talking like.
I actually find she's a better fit in House of Black, to be honest. I find with the character.
She's got the gimmick down pretty well. She had the cheerleader gimmick down good, too, though. She's good at the character work. The matches themselves, I go, hit or miss. Not bad, but not like I have to see it, And sometimes bad.
Well, I'll give her this. Like, she hit a very good moonsault this week.
Yeah.
Don't know if you really watched the match. But
Yeah. No, that moonsault was really nice. But the rest of the match against Willow Nightingale was like, But the moonsault was cool. The finish was nice.
The match kind of showed that she isn't used to, like, taking a beating. Because usually she's the one giving the beatings, but in this match she couldn't give the beating because Willow's much bigger than her. So she had to take a beating, and it felt like she wasn't used to that. That's what it seemed like. But again, like she made it her moments count when they needed to. The finish, what everyone remembered, that moonsault, that's what people needed to see. So people, I think, are hooked just on the fact that the gimmick's over. The fact that she can do a couple moves pretty good. And I think Statlander might be the best women's wrestler besides Toni Storm right now in AEW.
Yeah, maybe. She might be. Still
it's
doesn't.
Not a lot, I know.
But... Like, I'm still not interested in this match, you know? I wouldn't be interested in this match if it were on Dynamite. Like, this is... I don't know.
I wouldn't mind this on Dynamite. It would be fine.
I don't... Like, there's something about Statlander, too, where I just... I don't get it. Like, she's okay, you know, but promo-wise, gimmick-wise...
She's like how Toni Storm was. Like, she's okay, great, but nothing really stands out. But now Toni Storm with a better gimmick is like, wow, she's a megastar.
Yeah. But Statlander doesn't have that.
No, she doesn't have that yet.
Yeah, Toni Storm is great. Toni Storm, I got no problems with. Everything she does right now, the promos, the matches, she's fantastic. I thought the WWE was going to make her into a giant star, and they might have. Young Bucks, Guns, Lucha Brothers, and Orange and Hook. A fatal four-way match, tag team match. Winner gets a tag team title shot. I think it's going to be Orange and Hook.
Yeah.
Hook never loses.
So. Well, yeah, but in this kind of match, they don't have to lose, though, right? So
right,
you can get away with that. And Orange already has a title shot coming up, no? Because he won the because they won the four-way, right, or something like.
No, that wasn't for a title. I don't think.
Oh, it wasn't for a title shot. Okay.
No, I think that was just a fatal four-way match. Orange won a fatal four-way match on Dynamite over Matt Jackson, Colton Gunn, and Pentagon. But that was just a match to hype this pay-per-view match. It was a fatal four-way match because they're doing a fatal four-way tag match with, you know, it was just one half of the fatal four-way match.
I thought you get there's a shot and you get another shot kind of thing. But okay, no. Now if the shots are on the line, yeah, Orange and Hook, yeah, for sure. I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, it's them or the Bucks, but like Nick's already getting a title shot doing something else, so yeah, I'd go with Orange and the Hook, I think.
I feel like we've been down this road with FTR and the Bucks recently, and we don't need to revisit right away. I think we're good. FTR won.
You know, but I don't know about that one. See, I'll throw the monkey wrench in here. Full Gear, it's in California, no?
I don't know. Fuck.
I'm almost positive it's in California. They have the Lakers colors for Full Gear. So pretty sure it's in California.
Yeah.
That's the time. If you're going to have the Bucks win the tag titles back, that's the time to do it, I think. So I would never think they wouldn't win this one. But yeah, I'd go with Orange and Hook just because it's a new team and they probably want to help push Orange in a new direction, and that's one way to do it.
And anyways, Orange and Hook winning a tag team title shot here in October. They're not going to wait until November to get it. Like, they'll do that match on Dynamite. It's not going to be like win the title shot and then wait a month and a half for Full Gear.
That's possible.
Full Gear is in Los Angeles, by the way. At the Forum. Not the Staples Center. At the Forum. Probably a smarter move there for AEW. So, is that the card? Have we done it? Have we previewed Wrestledream? I think we have.
We survived the dream.
God damn, baby. Oh, well, let's hope it's a dream and not a nightmare. Coming up on Sunday.
Well, look at the shape of that.
Yeah. All right. And we'll preview, we've previewed it, and we will review it after the show Sunday night. I'll be here with maybe just me. Maybe just me and you. All right? We'll see. Who knows? Who knows what the future holds, my friend? I will be here Sunday night after Wrestledream, and we'll talk about it, and we'll dream about wrestling together. Over in WWE world, some things happened. I watched Smackdown tonight. It was, a wrestling show. They announced a few things. They made a few things official. John Cena. What
show that happened?
I mean, it was
it's a
right.
Show that happened.
That's the best you can
TV
say about
guide
it.
listing, like
Yeah,
it wrestling show that happens.
It occurred.
I thought it was good. That was a good SmackDown.
It always reminds me of Tony Chimmel. One time he got lost in his announcement, and he goes, "The following is a match." Like it was some sort of gimmick match, but he didn't have it
One fall
down. He's like, "The following is a." He goes, "Is a like the following is a
match."
And there's a pause. Match. It's like what? What do you mean the following is a match? No shit. The following is a match. It was like, some convoluted gimmick, and he just didn't have it down.
But at least back in his day, like they'd announce what the weight was, where they're from. Now it's just that's just their name. That's it. What's the point of having ring announcers if it's just that's it, just the names? Like
you're talking about Santos Escobar, Rey Mysterio when they did the whole introductions for the U.S. title match tonight. They didn't really say much about them, right?
Right.
Yeah. Match was good, though. Ray beat Santos.
Great match.
Yeah.
I thought it was the match of the night.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it a lot. Didn't like the aftermath whatsoever.
Yeah.
But
they were acting like this was some sort of first-time deal. Didn't Santos beat Ray in the finals of the tournament to get this title shot?
Yes. When Ray got concussed or something, or
yeah, but they were acting like this was first-time dream match for Santos Escobar. I was we just saw this for a title.
The dream match for a title, that's right. It, yeah.
Okay. Well, you lost your dream match, Santos. You won a few months ago when it was for a title shot, but when it was for the actual belt, you lost fair and square to Rey Mysterio. The match was very good. The Street Profits attacked Rey and Santos afterwards because the Street Profits had been challenged by Bobby Lashley on the Grayson Waller experience earlier in the show. Bobby says he made a mistake choosing them to be his proteges. And then the Street Profits came out and they're like, "What's up, Bobby? What? How come you're saying mean things about? Why don't you like us?" And Bobby's like, "If you want something from me, you need to prove it." And the Street Profits are like, "What?" And then Austin Theory and Grayson Waller are there, and I'm like, "Oh, Street Profits, maybe you just beat them up. Maybe beat them up right now." And they're like,
"No."
I was like, "Okay, I guess you're bitches, But no, you're not bitches because you attacked Rey Mysterio and Santos Escobar after their match, and Bobby Lashley loved it. Bobby was very pleased about this. He came out immediately as if it were scripted, and he was all smiles, clapping for what the Street Profits had done to Rey and Santos, just kind of hit them a couple times, knocked them out of the ring. And this is where it got real strange and sloppy. Rey is out of the ring, but he's standing on his feet. And he goes to Montez, and he kind of slaps Montez, right? From the floor. And Montez kind of looks at him, but he doesn't go on the floor and beat up Rey. So Rey is in a standing position where he can slap a guy, right?
Yep.
Joaquin Wilde and Cruz del Toro, I think those are their names, the other LWO guys, right?
Yeah.
They come out and they get beat down by Bobby Lashley. And then the Street Profits do a beating on them in the ring that takes, say, a minute or so. Rey is then selling the previous beating, not helping his friends. But we have just seen him on TV standing up, looking fine. But I guess he screwed up the thing. Right? That was bad. Because if you're standing and you're slapping Montez 1 second, how come you're crouching down the next second while your friends are getting beat up there in front of you? Doesn't make Rey look like a great babyface, but that was just a mistake that the camera wasn't supposed to catch. I don't think, right? I don't think they were supposed to catch Rey looking fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, but it's not over there. Not done yet.
No, so they beat them up. They beat up the LWO guys, and then Rey and Santos have just disappeared. Dragon Lee was ringside in a seat. He tried to help, but security stopped him, which you didn't like, right? That made you upset. I saw you tweet about it. You're like, how come
Well, it's just like
he got stopped,
yes.
but Lashley and those guys can do whatever they want, which, is true. But Dragon Lee, not technically a member of the SmackDown roster. He was just maybe a ticket-buying member of the public at that point.
Wrestled on Raw.
Wrestled on Raw, but, not officially a member of the Raw roster. I don't know. Yeah, I get it.
Like you have security to stop like this horrible person, Dragon Lee, who was actually going to stop like a big beating down in the ring, but
yeah, he's stopping an assault, but whatever. Dragon Lee had a pretty cool week, though. I mean, he was on SmackDown. He was featured there. He had a match with Dominic Mysterio on Raw that he lost, but still, it was a pretty good match. One of the better matches you'll see from Dominic Mysterio, and I think a big reason for that is because of Dragon Lee, who is an incredible talent, who I've been watching for years now. We've been watching Dragon Lee in New Japan and Ring of Honor and AEW for years, and he's been signed to WWE for a little while. He's been in NXT, but they're moving him up to the main roster a little bit, and I think it should be more than a little bit because he's an incredible talent, and he's ready. He's ready for the big show. Like, let's go. Put him on Raw, put him on SmackDown. There's no reason to keep him in NXT. He's a super, super talented guy. His match, I think it was in the States. It might have been, I think it was in San Francisco against Hiromu Takahashi, was one of the crazier matches you'll ever see in your life. Hiromu broke his neck in the match. It was nuts. What those guys did to each other was just otherworldly, that match. Crazy. Dragon Lee, like I've been watching for years now. And to see him on Raw was like, wow, look at him. He's on Raw now, wrestling Dominic Mysterio. It's weird, because I've seen him in New Japan, Korakuen Hall, all these things. I think he wrestled Kenny Omega and some guys in AEW like last year. Now he's on Raw.
He teamed with his brother Roosh, remember?
Yeah. So it's cool to see him on Raw because he's so damn talented, and you're like, damn, yeah, Raw needs something like this. SmackDown needs something like this. WWE needs Dragon Lee. He's like a really, really talented wrestler, and he's going to wrestle Austin Theory on SmackDown next week, which I think is great. That was big. I think the injection of Dragon Lee onto the main roster this week for WWE, it's like, oh, okay. You got another player on your hands. That's a real top-level talent. That's just, boom, here he is. Enjoy. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool when you can just have a Dragon Lee in your back pocket, It's like, oh, yeah, we've had him for a few months. Here, look at this. And you're like, oh, shit. Cool. I almost forgot he was there.
Well, it's because we don't really watch NXT, but
yeah,
maybe you should watch it. They got a premium live event tomorrow, No Mercy. Maybe I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, I might check it out. Becky Lynch is going to wrestle, so,
Wow, it's a backyard wrestling match. I don't really care about that, but
is
the other
it?
matches
Is that what they're calling it?
No, they call it an Extreme Rules match, but
oh, okay,
same thing.
Yeah. NXT No Mercy tomorrow, I liked Jimmy Uso and Solo Sikoa just running amok on SmackDown, just beating up everybody they see. I thought that was good. Jimmy Uso beat Carl Anderson. Carl tried to attack Jimmy after the match, but just ate a Samoan spike from Solo. Michin slapped Jimmy down to the ground, which upset Jimmy Uso. He didn't like that. So then they just started beating up people backstage. They beat up Ashante the Adonis, who's still employed. Remember, we were wondering because Top Dollar got fired.
B-Fab was there.
B-Fab was there saying, oh, what are you doing, Jimmy Uso? What are you doing? And Solo rock bottomed Ashante the Adonis through a table there backstage, and they were shown attacking security and stuff. And it's funny watching them and seeing Paul Heyman just kind of trail behind, and like you could see it in Heyman's face. Heyman sells it so well, like, this is not good. This is not good. These guys are out of control. I can't control them. Roman's not going to like this. This is bad. It reminds me, like, it's funny. I watch it and I go, it reminds me of my mom watching me and my brother just wreck shit at home. You know, just, you know what I mean? Like, me and my brother just causing trouble. And Jimmy is the older brother, and, like, Solo is just kind of following along, like, yeah. And that's how it was with me and my brother. Like, I'd be doing something, my brother just be following along. You know, I'd be putting duct tape on the wall to set up some sort of game or whatever we were doing. And Heyman is like my mom looking at us like, you know, she's like, she's not condoning the actions, but she's supportive because, you know, we're her kids. So she's going to support us. Like Heyman, he's looking at Jimmy and Solo and he's like, I don't like what you're doing. I don't think it's good, but, you know, I got to support you, bloodline, you know, all that. But once in a while, he calls Roman Reigns. And my mom, once in a while, she'd call my dad. She'd be like, they're causing trouble. They're doing this. They're beating up security guards on SmackDown. And Roman Reigns would be like, well, why don't you stop them? He's like, I can't stop them. What am I supposed to do? Can't stop them. Just got to stand by and watch the destruction. That's what it reminded me of. It's like, Daddy's on the phone, but Daddy's not home. Daddy's at work. And Mom's just watching the boys just wreck shit, cause trouble, run amok on SmackDown. Solo and Jimmy remind me of me and my brother when we were kids. Just causing shit on SmackDown while Paul Heyman just kind of watches like, oof. When Roman gets home, he's not going to be happy about this. You guys are going to be in big trouble. Big trouble.
Watch out, Georgie.
Georgie's big trouble. There's going to be trouble. You know, like when Roman gets back on SmackDown, Jimmy and Solo are going to be in so much trouble for all the shit that they've caused. Oh, they're going to be in big trouble. Roman's going to
when they lose at Fastlane, yes.
Oh, they're going to lose at Fastlane. You know they're losing at Fastlane. They're taking on John Cena and LA Knight. The hottest things in wrestling, which is official, by the way. LA Knight signed the contract tonight, made the save for John Cena. Cena was getting beat up by Jimmy and Solo. And then LA Knight came out, took everybody out, signed the contract. Yeah! LA Knight, John Cena, official tag team against Jimmy and Solo at Fastlane 1 week from tomorrow. Yeah. Yeah. I love it.
It's good for LA Knight. I mean, it's good for all of us. I didn't want to see John Cena in a handicap match. That would have been really bad, but it's tolerable, like, just to have the Cena come back in a tag match. That's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. It's going to be good. Charlotte Flair beat Bayley tonight after a spear and damage
not
control.
Much of anything.
Yeah, not a super special match. Damage control advanced on Charlotte after the match. Looked like they were going to do a 3-on-1 beatdown, but Asuka came out and they all backed away. And then Asuka said some stuff in Japanese. And then Bayley got on the mic and she's like, you want a triple threat match with Io and Charlotte for the belt at Fastlane? You got it. And Io's like, what? What the hell? And Bayley's like, that's what she was saying. That's what she was saying. And Io, who speaks Japanese, she's like, that's not what she said. That's not what she was saying. But Bayley, for some reason, decided to book that match. Yeah, I guess the WWE couldn't quite figure out a way to make the match, so they're like, let's have Bayley just do it, because she's always screwing over Io, so let's do that.
Well, I think it's because Charlotte, it goes back to that promo saying that, oh, you're just the backseater now, right?
Yeah, you hold Io's belt. You used to be a 4-horsewoman. What happened to you, Bayley? Yeah, the pre-match promo.
And this was her trying to, show initiative, trying to be the leader.
After losing to Charlotte and getting embarrassed. I mean, okay, I can see that. But they booked the match, Asuka, Io, Charlotte, which I think will be excellent at Fastlane because I saw it at the house show.
You saw that match.
Amazing. Yeah. It was so good. It was match of the night at the live event they did. When was that? Not that long ago here, right? It was a month ago? August
19th or something.
Yeah, about a month ago. And it was so good. It was such a great match, and I wondered why they were doing it on a house show. And now we know they were preparing it for a pay-per-view, which is great.
I look forward to December. Tickets are on sale today for the December 27th, maybe 28th.
Yeah, 28th. 28th.
I look forward to that. I'll probably go to that one.
Oh,
I haven't
yeah?
gone to the Laval ones yet. I'll probably go to the one Laval, yeah.
Oh, nice. I already got my tickets because there was a pre-sale the night of the Last House show, like a special pre-sale just for people who had bought tickets and been to that show. You could buy tickets like back in August, so I got my tickets then.
Nice. Well, that's good, though.
Yeah. Oh, December is going to be a jam-packed wrestling month for me. I'm going to go to see 2 AEW shows and a WWE house show. Pretty good. AEW and WWE coming to town in the same month. I mean, that's fun. That's a fun month for wrestling fans. December, something to look forward to.
You look back at the year of 2023 for Montreal wrestling, it's been quite fantastic.
Right? Elimination Chamber?
Well, just that whole Elimination Chamber weekend. You had the SmackDown, then Elimination Chamber. I mean, that was great.
Yeah.
Then again, yeah, you had it again past summer as well.
Yeah.
Quebec City as well had it too.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a fun year for pro wrestling. Fun year for wrestling fans. And my son, who's 6, has been to a lot of those shows. He's a lucky boy.
Well, no AEW, cool shit. Sadly. Go to Laval. Let's do
I'm bringing him. He's coming to AEW.
Well, everyone's going to get scarred for life at some point.
He'll be fine. He's a tough kid. And he's not coming to both shows. He's going to pick one because they're on school nights, you know, so he can't do double. That's too much. But he's such a big wrestling fan. Like, I can't deny him. He wants to go. I can't say no. I'll just hope for the best and earmuffs and, you know, put hands over the eyes, hands over the ears when things get a little crazy. But it's not that bad. You know? He's 6 years old,
now you gotta
man.
Figure out which show.
He's in the first grade. He's hearing shit on the playground that's far worse than what they're saying in an AEW crowd. I mean, he knows. You know what I mean? You get in the first grade, you start to figure out what's going on.
You don't know what it all means exactly, but you hear things, sure.
But that's it. You've heard a lot of this shit, and you're like, oh, okay. You know?
Right.
But he's a good kid.
Which one, though?
I don't know. Well, I don't know. I have tickets for both. And I have tickets for both, and he's going to choose one when we get closer to the date. Whatever wrestlers, you know, he'll want to see more, that's the show he'll pick. Whoever,
that's smart.
Yeah. So I'll let him choose, and then my brother will come with me to the other show. That's how we've settled it. I get to go to both.
Oh, Ben only goes to one. Wow.
Too bad.
Too bad.
Too bad.
Too bad.
Yeah. Well, it's a long story why that's going on, but I'm not going to bore you with the details. It's not important. Back to the WWE and what's going on there. Not much, really. I mean, I think we've covered it, honestly. Like, what else happened on SmackDown? Nothing.
SmackDown, I think we're good.
Yeah.
Just that, you know, Titanic, that is Raw. You got to get through.
Why do we have to even talk about Raw? Nothing happened on Raw. Nothing at all happened on Raw. Cody Rhodes got interrupted by the Judgment Day again to start the show. End of story.
Yep.
We're done. We're done.
And it ended the same way with a brawl at the end.
And ended the same way with Cody and Jey Uso and Sammy and Kevin brawling with the Judgment Day and JD McDonuts. End of story.
That's a good part of it. But we also had that.
That's everything. Judgment Day beat Kevin and Sammy in the main event to retain the tag team titles, and there was a big schmoz with everybody brawling. Bah, 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 bah. Drew McIntyre's kind of a dick now. He beat Kofi Kingston after Ivar distracted Kofi by beating up Xavier Woods. The other Viking Raider's not there. I guess he's hurt. Ivar's there causing shit.
And the Nia Jax promo?
Nia Jax did a promo with Zoe Stark, and then they had a match, and Nia Jax beat Zoe Stark with a bonsai drop.
Yeah. I know you're big on Nia Jax, but I'm telling you, like, that promo did not sell me on this thing whatsoever. His whole comeback, like,
I'm not like the world's biggest Nia Jax fan. I just think that she offers something different than the average women's wrestler, you know? And sometimes her matches aren't terrible. Sometimes they are, though, you know? She's really hit and miss. Like, sometimes she hits, and it's like, oh, that was pretty good. And then most of the time, it's just a massive miss. The match with Zoe Stark was like, whatever. It wasn't good. It wasn't bad. It just happened.
Well, what about the promo with Zoe Stark?
It wasn't good.
It wasn't good.
No. But, I mean, I didn't expect it to be. Were you surprised that Dragon Lee and Dominic Mysterio had a match that was that good? I thought it was a little better than I expected it to be. Like, Dominic Mysterio, yeah, but Dominic was able to hang in there and, you know, be there when he needed to be.
At times he seemed lost, though.
Yeah.
Like, I thought Dragon Lee was way too fast for him, and you could see, like, Dominic was trying to catch up at certain points, and he kind of lost him a couple times, too. He had to find him, or whatever. Like, he went too fast, or he got lost in a couple moves. But, like, in terms of most Dominic matches, like, this is probably one of his better ones. Still, though, like, in terms of his selling, it's not very good. Like, all he does is just die. Like, he doesn't really register, like, anything that's really happening to him. He just falls down, and that's it. Like, he kind of like Nia, too. Like, Nia just, like, same reaction to every little thing that happens. Like, plain nothing. Like, I get they're new and all that, and Nia's just going to be the way she is, but, you know, Dragon Lee really helped that match a lot. Like, and I think they know it right away. Like, that's why they put him on every show this week.
Because he's great. He's a lot of fun.
Right.
And I think he was the highlight of Raw this week because everything else was just so bland, run-of-the-mill. You've seen it a million times over. Here's something new. Here's Dragon Lee, new wrestler who happens to be one of the best wrestlers in the world today. Look at this. Amazing. And they had a really good match. Like, we had Seth Rollins and Nakamura do another promo talking about a match. Last man standing at Fastlane. It went on and on. No one cares. No one wants to see that shit. Tegan Nox beat Natalya. You know, whatever. There's just a lot of this stuff that just keeps going on and on. Bronson Reed beat Otis. I mean, that was kind of fun. You know, some things are kind of fun.
It was all right.
Tommaso Ciampa beat Ludwig Kaiser. It was all right. They're trying to build up Ciampa to be an opponent for Gunther at Fastlane for the Intercontinental title. I don't really believe in Ciampa. I hope he's not the one to beat Gunther. I don't think he will be.
I wasn't too big on the Tegan Nox, like, Becky thing they were trying to do. Like, I know they're really forcing things way too much. Like, Tega's not over yet.
Nope.
To push her that level, like, and they're forcing it down our throats too much. I don't know if it's going to work out.
Well, that was just one little promo. I haven't seen that much Tegan Nox. Before this promo on Raw, I can't remember the last time I saw Tegan Nox. Is she even on Raw? Or is she in NXT?
No, she was on Raw, yeah. She got drafted to Raw.
Yeah, but
still, that's it. They haven't really done much with her.
Yeah, whatever.
A random run-in here or there kind of thing. But still, the match with Natty, like, Natty was more over. And people were like, wow, that's it? That's the finish? Because people had no idea what her finisher was.
No, I don't know. I think it's a Triple H thing. Like, he likes her. She's been in NXT for a long-ass time.
Well, she's not bad, but they just haven't really focused enough on her. And just, oh, wow, you're going to go for the title right away. It's, like, way too much. And
NXT title, John, it doesn't mean anything. It's the NXT title. And she's just getting a match with Becky. Like, who cares? She's not winning it.
Huge problem I had with this whole Becky thing. Like, it should have been Becky. Like, you did the whole thing with Trish, that whole feud. It should have been Becky, Rhea Ripley for the women's title. No, we're going to have Becky win the NXT title, and now she's going to face all the bottom tier women in WWE. Like, that's really what people want to see, not?
Well, she's elevating some people that need elevating, and she's getting to be NXT Women's Champion, which she never was. So she gets to be, you know, it's a run just for the record books, I think. It's mostly because Becky's the only one of the 4 horsewomen that never won it.
Yeah, Becky's over, but these people aren't over. And just because you wrestle them doesn't mean they get over just because you get to wrestle them. You know, that doesn't really work out that way.
Yeah, but they also, you know, they want to sell this NXT No Mercy show in Bakersfield, California this weekend that they have to sell tickets for. And I don't know if people are buying tickets for a bunch of NXT wrestlers. You might need a star like Becky Lynch to sell tickets too. You know, she's not just there to put people over. She's there to put butts in seats, pal. Right? So is Dirty Dom. People are going to pay to see Dirty Dom against Trick Williams tomorrow in Bakersfield.
Yeah, I don't know so much on Dom so much, but Becky I could see as a draw without question. Yes, like she's a name, but I feel like that's not what she should be doing. She should be facing top tier people, but we're just on pause right now.
Yeah, it's pause. It's a pause. She'll be back. Johnny, we got to run. When's your next match? When can people see you in the ring?
It's going to be this Sunday, and you'll be there.
Yeah.
So that'll be great. So this Sunday, 4 p.m. in Laval, 1000 Boulevard d'Avenir. You can take Metro Montmorency. I think you might just drive there, but either way, it's right there. So yeah, show should be pretty good. 4 p.m. Wrestling Wilson Colas. It's going to be a very violent match.
There you go. More on that. Follow him on Twitter at North Genesis. All the info is there at North Genesis on Twitter, X, whatever you call it. You can follow me at Dave Simon MMA. Go check out Johnny North this Sunday afternoon in Laval. Should be a very good time. I'll be there in attendance for the match. Going to be great. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in here tonight. Appreciate you, all our members over at join.ringsidereport.net, join.ringsidereport.net to support the channel like Lior did, like Jason Pete did. Thank you, Lior. Thank you, Jason, for supporting the channel. Shout out to some of our newer viewers. Portier Concierge, King of Hueco Mundo. Shout out to you guys tuning in here tonight. Thank you for tuning in. Hope you stick around. Shout out to Lauren out in Côte St. Luc. Who else was here? Jimmy James tonight. Ryan Katz. It's a roll call. Alex Tarras. All the guys, all the boys, all the girls, everybody staying up late on a Friday night watching us live. Appreciate you and everybody watching us later. I appreciate you guys too, you know. However you watch it, whenever you watch it. We thank you very much for supporting the Ringside Report Network.
Thanks for sticking with us to the end. We would really appreciate it if you could help us spread the word.
You know the drill. Hit that subscribe button. Flip those notification switches.
We are an audience-supported network, so consider becoming a recurring supporter at membership.ringsidereport.net.